third phase of Moon.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name's Blake Cousins. Our guest this week, Kerry Cassidy. Project Camelot is her passion, talking to whistleblowers from around the world in regards to UFOs, teleportation, alien abduction, and government secrets. Let's get to it right now. Kerry, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
Thanks, Blake. Looking forward to it.
Kerry, you've been working very hard for decades trying to get information out and interviews from whistleblowers, and you've spoken to the top around the world. What more is it going to take to get disclosure from the U.S. government?
Well, you have to understand what they have to disclose, which is the alien presence, lots of different races, their underground bases, their secret space program. My point of view on disclosure is that regardless of what they disclose, they're going to lie to you. So they're going to spin it. They're going to make it seem more simplistic than it really is. But once they open that sort of can of worms and give validation of any kind to this sector, then people like us that have been out there fighting the good fight, trying to get the truth out, we're going to really sort of hit the public in a major way, and we will go mainstream, so to speak. And when that happens, we will scare the shit out of them. Because the information, for example, on Camelot, where we have more than 300 hours of audio and video footage with whistleblowers with above top secret clearances, researchers, authors, experiencers, all kinds of people. We really have a huge treasure trove, if you will, of information that will blow this whole sector open. So anything they say, they're going to be able to come to us and get more depth. And when that happens, we're just waiting.
Kerry, can I ask you, in your lifetime of research, who are the top two people you've spoken to about government cover-up in regards to UFOs and the agenda?
Well, that's a hard question. I can't really narrow it down quite that much. I can tell you some very important people that we've interviewed. One of the most important, I would say, is Henry Deacon, who came out under his own name, which is Arthur Neumann. And he basically went on stage with me in Barcelona and said he'd been on Mars working as a scientist. He has gone to ground, as they say. So since our interview and since our dialogues with him, in which we really investigated him in depth and spent a lot of time with him, we got to be very good friends with him. And basically, he's been shut up. He's been intimidated. So he's one very important person. I don't know. I guess for the mainstream, I would say Bob Dean is a really important person. And in many ways, Bob, even though he'd been on the sector for a very long time, speaking at conferences and so on, when he came to me, he really opened up. At one point, he burst into tears, talking about his own contact experience. And Bob became something like, for lack of a better word, almost a rock star in this sector. And his wonderful heart and his incredible personality and his sense of truth and justice really pervades everything he does and says. And he's something of a hero for people. So I would say he's a very important person that we interviewed.
Talking about Mars, do you think NASA's doing some kind of cover-up in regards to information and possible life there? And what's up with Curiosity? Are they really sending images back, or are they suppressing some of the images and not giving it to the public? Overall, what is NASA up to? Are they a deception kind of agency?
Well, there's definitely a cover-up, and for that you can look at Richard Hoagland and his book, Dark Mission, which talks about the cover-up and NASA. And but as far as Henry Deacon goes, being on Mars, he took a jump room, what was called a jump room. And we also have an interview with, it was actually more of a video conversation with David Wilcock, in which we discuss the jump room. It's called Jump Room to Mars. And we discuss David Wilcock's whistleblower, who had experience. I don't think he didn't go to Mars, but he had experience with Montauk, etc. Anyway, and we talk about the jump room, and he verifies that he's aware of the jump rooms as well. Basically, I've been told by other witnesses that there are jump rooms or jump gates within the various underground facilities. There's one in Los Alamos. There's one in there must be one in Pine Gap. There's so much going on there. Dimona. A lot of underground bases are associated with various other military facilities, such as Dimona in Israel.
Kerry, can you tell us, what is the most scariest testimony you've ever heard so far?
I don't know. One of the best pieces of information that I got relatively recently is from a whistleblower who came forward, but he never was interviewed. And he told me that this planet was being ruled from the fourth dimension, and that there were jump gates in places like Texas on bases and in Los Alamos where the military jumps back and forth to Mars. But it's not Mars as we know it, it's Mars in a fourth dimensional Mars. And so that when we look at the surface of Mars, we're not actually seeing what's really there. What's happening, though, is that Earth is moving into the fourth dimension. And in fact, some people would say we're actually already there. So this is where you get the veil thinning between the various dimensions. And we are definitely starting to access and see a lot more in terms of the number of ships visiting, the kinds of races that we're going to be encountering, and so on. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we are joining the galactic community.
People theorize that there are many species of aliens visiting Earth right now. Could you give us a description of what they may look like, and really how many species are existing here at the moment, right now, as we speak, on planet Earth?
Well, Clifford Stone, who is an excellent whistleblower who worked as an intuitive that would go along with the military when they were recovering crashed UFOs back in I think it was the 1960s and 70s. He's retired now, and actually he's having a lot of trouble with staying alive. But at any rate, he's talked about as many as 54 different races when he was exposed to and sort of on the inside of the military. My understanding is there's a lot more than 54. As far as descriptions of them, people will know about the Greys and the reptilians. There are many, many groups of Greys, and there are also what are called programmed biological entities, and those they look like Greys, but they're basically robots. So there's that group. There's all different kinds of reptilians. There's positive, what we call service to self and service to others reptilians. The Shikars, which are reptilians with wings and fly between the dimensions. Let's see, there are, human, there are all kinds of hybrids. Humanity itself is a hybrid. So we are a hybrid race, and we're made up of many different races, as much as 12 different ET races. There's the Andromedans, there's so many races, I can't even tell you. The Nordics, there are many kinds of Nordics. A lot of people tend to group them all together. They put the Pleiadians and Nordics all in one bin. They're not the same races. They're different. They come from different areas of the galaxies and so on. So there's praying mantis beings. There's there's a bizarre looking beings. I mean, what was that? Is it Men in Black or I think it's Men in Black? Yeah, that movie. In some ways depicts something of the bizarre quality of what we're talking about.
Who do we got to be more concerned about, the alien agenda or the U.S. government agenda, or are they in collaboration at the same time?
Well, I would say they're as far as the negative ETs, the service to self, and the secret government, they are working hand in hand, so they're equally diabolical. The agenda involves taking over the planet, eliminating 2/3 of the population on the planet, turning the rest into slaves, and so on. And there are many ET races with many different agendas. There are also positive ETs that are working in the background to keep us going, to keep humanity as an experiment, which is what we are, alive and flourishing on this planet. The secret space program is divided as well into what we consider to be white hats and black hats. And they are basically, the white hats are trying to take back their power at this time, to turn the tables on the ETs, where the secret space program made a number of treaties and agreements with the dark side.
I've heard word over the internet and through special sources about the robot man or the super robot. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the government is planning to do with human DNA and technology, wrapping it all together?
I like to talk about what is in essence going on here on the planet, which has to do with two paths of choice that humanity has at this time, to go the way of what I call the robotic Superman versus the angelic human. The secret space program, for all intents and purposes, chose the robotic Superman. They chose the machine, the sort of merging of man and machine as being the future for humanity. They didn't want to wait for humanity to evolve on its own, to move into its own power, its own abilities. That this human body has incredible potential. We are a time traveler. That's our nature. We have the ability to go and to leave and return to our body at will, to actually, disappear from this reality and move somewhere else. We have the ability to fly and to do all the things that you've heard of, the special powers, ET, type powers. These are embodied in this vehicle, this human vehicle. It's just that Earth humans have not actualized themselves sufficiently to be able to utilize all those powers at this time. But we are very much moving in that direction as a species, and we will gradually embrace all of those potentialities if allowed to develop and continue to grow in the future. We're also having a great deal of help right now by the energetics that are coming into the planet at this time, and the positive ET energies that are helping us to move us into to actualizing what we are in essence destined to be. So if you think of us as a composite of 12 ET races, then you can understand that we have all those same powers as all those so-called ETs that a lot of channelers and other people tend to put on a pedestal. There's no reason to put them on a pedestal if you understand that we actually embody all their powers and more, because we are greater than the sum of our parts, if you will. So this is a grand experiment. At least 12 ET races took part in it. And this is a being that creator wanted to see succeed and to move and back to creator eventually. What happens is that the robotic Superman is going to be using the machine, the AI, and emphasizing that in composite with the human. And what the problem with machine reality and AI is that they have no soul. And so this is where you get a lot of envy from some of the races that don't have a soul, the androids that are visiting the planet, etc. The robotic races, they all wish to create and to have a soul, but they simply are unable to do so. So this is where you get the merging of the two, where there's a desire to do that. All they can do is replicate themselves. They can't evolve. They can't re-evolve and go back to source.
You speak of the jump room. Is this human-made technology or help from extraterrestrials? Are they working together with this jump room from planet to planet?
Well, I'm sure the technology came from RET interactions. The government's been involved with ETs, at least in terms of what we know of, since the 1940s. And they've had treaties with them that involve abductions of human beings in exchange for getting high technology and various other things. The reptilians and the Greys are the most notorious. There's also the Nordics and many other races. Technology for jump rooms, I assume, came from the ETs, although my understanding is also that the Nazis were in touch with a certain great race of ETs, and they probably had already developed something of a jump gate using the Nazi bell.
Kerry, this has been an amazing interview, and we've gotten some incredible information. I want to thank you for all your hard work that you're doing over there at Project Camelot, talking to the whistleblowers, getting above top secret information in the hands of the public. Thanks again, Kerry, for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope to see you guys again.
Thanks again, Kerry. I suggest everybody to check out Project Camelot. The link's below. You take a look, and if you've got information that you think is above top secret, let her know. And if you've captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs, contact Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. Visit our new website at www.thirdphaseofmoon.net. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time. Blake Cousins. Our special guest this week, Preston Dennett. He's authored over 15 best-selling novels on the UFO phenomenon and has also worked for MUFON. Thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon, Preston.
Oh, thanks. Very glad to be here.
You know, Preston, the UFO sightings from around the world and the phenomenon has gone on the rise as of late. Can you tell us what's going on around the world?
Yeah, well, the UFOs have been here for a long time. I think the evidence shows that. And starting in 1947, which coincides with the atomic age, UFOs kind of really started coming to our planet in big numbers. And it's never stopped since then. And I don't see any sign of them leaving. So yeah, we've got reports all across the world.
Just a couple weeks ago, you guest starred on Jesse the Bodies Ventura's Conspiracy Theory TV show in regards to Skinwalker Ranch and Bigelow Aerospace. Can you tell us, what do you think Bigelow's up to?
Well, Bigelow, as you know, is a very wealthy man, and he's also very aware of the UFO situation. We've had people study the whole abduction phenomenon. I think he's aware of what the ETs have been warning humanity about. See, when someone is taken on board a UFO craft, the most common thing that happens to them is an examination. But the second most common is being given warnings of environmental disaster, nuclear proliferation, upcoming disasters of various kinds. And they keep saying over and over again, our planet is in trouble. And I think Bigelow knows this and is trying to get a plan to get into space. And his interest in the Skinwalker Ranch proves that he's very knowledgeable about this stuff. I think he probably does have proof of the ET presence.
Apparently, Bigelow took over MUFON and paid him over $750,000 for a year's access exclusive to UFO sightings. You know, here at Third Phase of Moon, we get about 150,000 views a day, about 3.5 to 4 million hits a month. We're putting it out transparent. Is MUFON doing the same, or who do you go to now for, reporting your UFO sightings besides Third Phase of Moon?
Yeah, MUFON, I've been a member of it for a long time. Very long time, and I've reported cases to them, and they kind of disappear into this black hole a little bit. And I haven't been super active with them. I've maintained my membership, but I know there's been a big shake-up. They've had a couple of people come into leadership and then leave right away. So that's kind of concerning. And, it seems like all UFO groups at some point become a little bit corrupted. This is what happened to NICAP. This is what happened to APRO, where they kind of get taken over a little bit by government folks, is what it appears to me. I'm not saying this is what's happened with MUFON because I don't really have any evidence of that. But there's a lot of people who are unhappy about MUFON. Long investigators who've been fired from positions that they've held for a long time. So I know there's some shake-ups going on there, and I am concerned about it.
Preston, in all your years of research and working on the UFO phenomenon, what's the most scariest story you've come across in your years of work?
Oh, that's a good question because I've talked to a lot of people. I think the scariest ones are some of the abduction cases. One that comes to mind is a gentleman who was driving along the 5 freeway and with a friend. He was driving in the driver's seat, and they saw an object ahead of them on the road which they thought was a processing helicopter or something like that. And they became very concerned when they realized it was nothing like that. It was apparently a UFO with fog surrounding it and lots of bright colors, and it terrified them because it sent out this beam of light which played across the road and then struck their car, and they lost consciousness and woke up later on the road, and he was no longer driving. His friend was driving, and he was in the passenger seat. And they were terrified. It was a very scary experience. And another one that comes to mind is a couple who were driving through Topanga Canyon when they had a UFO following them, and actually have a recording of this. They were crying just about when they spoke about it. They said this object came down right over the car and lifted their car right up. And they had missing time, and the next thing they remember, they're set back down on the ground, just terrified and really disoriented. So there is definitely a very scary aspect to this sometimes. But yeah, absolutely. Often people tell me it was the scariest experience of their life.
Preston, you've authored over 15 best-selling novels in regards to the UFO and alien phenomenon. I know you're working on something in the future. Can you tell us what it is?
Well, currently I'm working on 2 books. I'm kind of continuing my series of UFOs over California, which is this book right here. And I also did a book called UFOs over New Mexico and UFOs over New York. So I'm following that up with UFOs over Nevada. I'm finding out a lot about Area 51, which is really surprising and shocking, actually. Yeah, I thought I knew quite a bit about it already, but I found out I did not know the whole story. And so that's really interesting. And I'm also doing another book on people who had very close encounters. These are the kinds of encounters that are not your typical abductions. Like one gentleman, he was actually invited aboard a UFO and was taken off of his Navy ship. He was a medic at the time, and had contact with these 15 feet tall, he said 15 feet tall, praying mantis type ET. And he was never examined or anything like that. They told him where they came from. It's a very long story, actually. But these are the types of encounters that are in this new book, and I'm really excited about it.
In your book, UFOs Over California, you dedicated a full chapter into the summit meeting with aliens with President Eisenhower at the Edwards Air Force Base. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? Yeah,
this is kind of the Edwards Air Force UFO case, and it's much, much bigger than I think anybody realized. 1964, when Eisenhower disappeared for a few days and said that he had a dental emergency. Well, it turned out that wasn't true. He was actually secreted off to Edwards Air Force Base, where allegedly he had contact with ETs. This was the story that came out immediately afterwards. And since then, there's just been more and more confirmation that this meeting did actually take place. There's been a lot of high-level scientists coming out that worked at Edwards Air Force Base and reported aspects of this incident. And so it seems to be more and more confirmed. And if you look into Edwards Air Force Base, it's a magnet for UFO activity since it was created. Edwards Air Force Base is where we've done our most advanced aerospace research. And the UFOs have shown a great interest from it from the beginning, and it's had wave after wave of confirmed sightings. And now we have actual released recordings of radar visual sightings over Edwards Air Force Base. And truly they're neck deep in this. They not only have had sightings, there's been landings that have occurred there, as confirmed by astronaut Gordon Cooper, who actually saw a videotape of a UFO landing at Edwards Air Force Base, which he sent off to his superiors and was never seen again. And there's also reports of not only alien meetings, but craft UFOs being taken there and studied. So it just goes on and on and on with Edwards Air Force Base, and the story there is still continuing and unfolding. And I think there is a very prime area for research, because it's a very, still a lot of information to uncover about what's going on at Edwards.
Preston, I really look forward to your future books in regards to the UFO and alien phenomenon. and I appreciate you sharing your vital information through the investigations you've been doing for many years.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity. I very much appreciate speaking with you guys, and very happy to have the opportunity. Thanks.
Thanks again, Preston. And if anybody out there has captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs or aliens, you can contact us via Skype, Facebook, and our new website, thirdphaseofmoon.net. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time. Blake Cousins. We're going to discuss the Middle East in this episode in regards to drones over Israel or some kind of UFO activity going on a mass scale. Right now, we're going to be speaking with Abcud, otherwise known as AQ. He's been sending Third Phase of Moon video for over the past year, incredible footage from all over the Holy Land, and I'm happy to have him right here at Third Phase of Moon. Thanks for joining us right here.
You're welcome, Mr. Blake. Anytime, it's my pleasure.
AQ, you've been sending us amazing footage for the past year, and we've been looking at it very closely, and it is quite spectacular. Do you think these could be, some kind of military drones? And can you tell us when you first started seeing UFOs over the skies? The UFOs you captured over the Dome of the Rock was quite spectacular, and you managed to capture this amazing daytime footage as you were driving down some kind of freeway over there in Israel. Can you tell us about this?
That was in a highway footage. I was driving with my fathers, and I was in a taxi, and we was in a highway, and his taxi driver was driving, and I don't know, those UFOs just passed from behind me or from the side, running faster, and there's one above the tunnel, and that UFO above the tunnel, I don't know how it came out. It was just two UFOs I saw. The faster one is way faster, and above the tunnel.
AQ, you said that we made a mistake, and we're going to correct it right here at Third Phase of Moon in regards to a sighting that we claimed it was from Afghanistan. We got this information in, we posted it, but you're correcting us and saying this is somewhere in Israel, and this is amazing footage as well. Tell us about it.
The exact place it was it's not Afghanistan. The actual video, it was in the Dead Sea. In Israel, the Dead Sea.
I'm sure the Israelis have drones of their own, spying on Hamas and the people and keeping a close eye on things. Do you think these are drones or possible extraterrestrials keeping an eye on the Holy Land?
I'm not sure if those are military stuff and government. Those objects, it's small, okay? Those, for my opinion, they're small, and they're like a saucer. It's similar to a saucer, flying saucer. And he's moving faster. I don't know how it could be. And just standing right some specific spot and never move around. It just stop, completely stop. For my opinion, yeah, they're extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial come to the Earth and they visit us, but they're not committed us for. They're not threatening us or trying to do something stupid for us, like doing crazy things. They're just flying far in the skies and doing crazy stuff in the skies. And there are aliens. I'm sure there are UFOs, aliens. They came out from outer space. This is not impossible. It's possible.
AQ, you keep doing what you're doing over there and keep your eyes on the skies and have your camera ready. And, in the future, if you capture anything, you're going to keep us updated right here at Third Phase of Moon. Right, AQ?
I will stay tuned. And I will keep moving and looking for some UFOs footages, flying object, extraterrestrial, or any stranger objects. I will capture it in the future. If I see something, I will let you know. Alright, thank you, Blake.
Hey, thanks again, AQ, for joining us, and we look forward to more interviews with you in the future in regards to your amazing captures over Israel. And if you've captured anything amazing like AQ, you can send it to us at Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time. Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name's Brent Cousins, and Blake's on assignment. We're here today with amazing footage out of Mexico from Manuel Sanchez. Manuel's our new correspondent from Mexico, and he's got some amazing footage that he's going to share with us right here at Third Phase of Moon. We're via Skype with him right now. So Manuel, tell us about your amazing sightings over Mexico City.
Well, I don't know, but some objects that I would see, I think that there are military, because I am too close with the base, you know, one base right here in San Diego and the islands in the Pacific.
Manuel, do you believe these to be military drones?
Yeah, that's the analysis. I think they are much bigger, like a plane, commercial plane, you know, jumbo plane. I don't know. Too much big, but it's big, this object. If you see the video, I put it on all the zooming. My zooming is 40 optical zoom, and digital is a 300, 400 digital zoom, and the object is so far, no?
Mira, parece a un platillo y ahí. Bueno, pero
right here in Baja California, I try to create a group for investigation, you know, UFO investigation and other things, no, like Asian cultures, right here in Baja California. Tijuana and Mexicali. I just want to invite your friends and subscribers to my channel to subscribe it and subscribe for my channel, and they're coming back later.
Manuel, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. We look forward to more of your UFO video out of Mexico City.
Oh, okay. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I invite you to subscribe. This is a real UFOs, because I am a sky watcher, real sky watcher. This is not fake, it's a real UFOs.
Manuel, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. We look forward to more of your UFO video out of Mexico City. Blake Cousins is on assignment with some amazing stories that he's going to be sharing to you right here at Third Phase of Moon. My name's Brent Cousins. Keep your eyes on the sky. And don't forget to subscribe to Manuel's channel. Check the links below. And if you've caught anything amazing, send it to us at Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. We'll see you very soon. Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name's Blake Cousins, and our special guest this week, Stan Romanek, famous for his video that was featured on Larry King Live of an apparent alien outside his window. Thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon, Stan.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You know, non-believers are constantly asking physical, tangible proof of ET visitation. Your case is filled with some of the most incredible evidence. If you were to present your case to the worldwide audience, what smoking gun footage would you offer?
You know, I thought about that question, and you know, there is so much evidence, really, probably a live extraterrestrial. You know, one that you can have interaction with. Here's the sad thing, even within my own family, you know, for instance, my brother, I could bring a live ET to him and he'd tell me it was a child in a costume. So sometimes, even though you have the most amazing evidence, people just refuse to believe because of fear.
You have implants and artifacts in your possession now. What would it take to bring your evidence, expose it to the world, and make other governments start to disclose?
You know, it's not about how much proof you have. I found that out. I've got enough proof. I've got totes and totes of
physical evidence. I have, some amazing video. I have video footage from surveillance VCRs that are used. These surveillance VCRs are actually used in a court of law, so they have special coding on them. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes you can have all the proof in the world, but if it goes on deaf ears, it doesn't make a difference.
You've had several incidents happen to you in front of people and their cameras. Do you think it is a deliberate act of high strangeness and is part of the ETs to prove themselves to the people?
Oh, absolutely. And see, that's what makes my case so different. Most everything that happens with people around. So I don't have to explain myself. Now, you're talking about, producers for huge television companies. Recently, I had National Geographic's here, and they captured all kinds of stuff. It was hosted by James Fox, and the network refused to show the stuff they captured and decided to make a joke of it all, and James Fox quit over the whole ordeal.
So is this the reason why the Nat Geo shut down chasing UFOs on National Geographic?
Yeah, that's, from what I understand, that's it. James Fox was duped just like everybody else. It's, further proof that these big networks are controlled by something that doesn't want this information out. Look, there is so much evidence from government, from people coming out from, the military. It's overwhelming, but still there are people that refuse to believe. And there is a concerted effort to keep this quiet for whatever reason. And personally, I think it's because, the powers that are in charge of that stuff have some kind of vested interest monetarily in keeping it quiet.
You have a name you go by, and the visitors call you Starseed. Can you explain to us further what this means?
It started with a bizarre phone call or message left on our answering machine, and it was a British woman's voice, mechanical voice. We later found out that the voice we thought was from a text-to-speech program, and we always thought somebody was messing around. And it started calling me Starseed. We later learned that, we believe that the majority of these communications are from off-world visitors. That doesn't mean it couldn't be black ops or something like that, but the technology they utilize our own technology. And they manipulate it in such a way that I don't know how they do it. Now, as you know, a text-to-speech program, you type something down, and then it takes a few seconds to, not manipulate it, read it, and then it comes back with a audible version of what you wrote down. Whatever this is, we've had up to 2-hour conversations with this voice that we call Audrey. And, other weird things. We've had other contact kind of stuff, not just that. And for some reason, they always call me Starseed. I don't know if it's their nickname for me, pet name, I'm not sure.
We're excited right here at Third Phase of Moon with some new footage that you're going to share with us in regards to alien abduction and UFOs. Can you explain the material that we're looking at right now?
Sure. Well, let's see. The first one I sent you, I can't show you the video, but I can show you the stills. I'm pretty famous for the ET in the window video we thought was a peeping Tom, and I took video of it, set up a video camera, see if I could catch this thing, and it ended up being an alien looking in my window. I've gotten a lot of flack for that. There's a lot of people say that it's fake, that it's computer generated. It's not computer generated. We had it analyzed by some of the top professionals in the world. That being said, that is just one small piece of evidence that I have. I sent you a still from another video we nicknamed Grandpa Gray. I fell asleep at my computer. And my stepson had some friends over that evening, and it was about 12 o'clock at night. My computer was hacked, and I was fixing my computer. And I woke up because I heard movement, and I opened one eye, and I see a naked figure running into the kitchen. I'm thinking, holy crap, my stepson is doing some kind of weird dare, and, I'm going to get my video camera, I'm going to catch him and then blackmail him later to clean his room or something. Well, I look all over the house, nothing. I go upstairs, and my stepson and his friends are fast asleep, and I'm totally confused. I'm just about to turn off my camcorder when I see this thing looking at me from the sliding glass door in my dining room. And at first I'm thinking, somebody's got to be playing some kind of joke. It's got to be some kind of costume something. As I got closer in the video, you can hear how distraught I am because I cuss a lot when I get scared. And I totally flip out. I go and it ducks down, it closes its eyes, and it kind of moves, away from the glass door and kind of disappears. And I go from the dining room to the kitchen to the dining room to the kitchen, looking for something. There's nothing. And the last time that the video, last time you see me doing anything on the video, there's like 3 or 4 flashes of light that suddenly shine up on the windowsill of the kitchen. And I literally, I wake up on the kitchen floor 45 minutes later, remembering absolutely nothing except for the flashes of light. If it wasn't for the fact that I captured this thing on camera, I would have never remembered anything.
This is great, Stan. I'm wondering, do you think the government is still following you around and bugging your home?
This is ongoing ever since it started. I've been beat up, shot at, told to shut up, our phones have been tapped. This is the way it is. A lot of people think, if the government really wanted to use surveillance, you'd never know about it. But what they don't, like for instance, that video that you're looking at of the surveillance, the bike they found, it's not real high tech, but it doesn't necessarily need to be because surveillance is very expensive. So especially the government will go the cheapest route they can, especially when it's long term. This has been going on for years and years and years. I kind of feel consoled to know that I've cost the government millions of dollars because of all the times they've harassed me and followed me, and which is weird because we're an open book. If they have any questions, all they have to do is just come ask, and I'll share it with everybody. The picture that I sent you, this was, I think in February. I was doing a phone call interview for a radio show out of Rome, Italy. And I was in my office, had my feet up on my windowsill, and this object just came down through the clouds and hovered there for about 20-30 seconds, moved over and went back up. And there were about 300 people that saw it all together. And you can tell it's triangular craft. Unfortunately, it's not the best quality because I took it through my window, through the screen of my office window with my cell phone. And then the video that I sent, my publisher has some connections with, I think it's a CIA, NSA, I don't remember, but they told him that it'd be a good idea if I had my house swept. So we got some inside information, so he hired some people to sweep my house, and they found that listening device in the light switch of my office. And they also found another thing attached to my phone box outside, so that was a receiver, and that sent a signal to the transmitter through the phone line, so that's what you're looking at there.
If you could recall, how many times have you actually been abducted?
Really? At least, I'm going to say 12 that I remember. 2 of which were really very scary and seemed to be just about trying to scare me and make me fearful. I believe those had those particular experiences had to do with the government. I'm not exactly sure, but my first experience, I gotta tell you, it was almost polite. It was very scary. They took me against my will, but they went out of their way to make sure that I was comfortable. They tried to explain things to me. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't like, you know, if we watch TV, they always try to explain that the abduction phenomena is this baloney called sleep paralysis. The trouble is, it doesn't explain Biddy and Barney Hill. It doesn't explain Travis Walton. And I was completely awake from my experience and remember absolutely everything.
Stan, how many visitors from other planets and species have you encountered, and have they told you how many other species throughout the solar system and the galaxy are, and what about other dimensions?
Absolutely. At least 5 different types of extraterrestrials or beings, one of which, I'm going to say 4 because one of which I think just disguised itself so it was easier for me to deal with what they really were. And if you've read any of my books, I kind of, especially in my last book, Answers, you know, it's in my book Answers. I talk about that. And you know, there are, from what I understand, 14 different species residing with us on this planet. One of which actually evolved with us as part of this planet, except they live underground. Now, there is no such thing as a hollow earth, but there are massive, you know, caverns and tunnel systems where these things live, from what I understand. Is it real? Can I prove it? No. But that's what I've been told.
Also in your book, Answers, you talk about a person named Lazarus who told you about the DCTL, or Doctrine of Convergent Timelines. Can you tell our viewers about this and how it refers to extraterrestrials?
Well, Lazarus, you know, I still really don't understand who Lazarus really is. That's the name we gave him. He was a mysterious character that came into our life and then just disappeared. More than likely a non-human something. I mean, what I witnessed with my own eyes was real. But how do I explain this? I had to come to terms with the fact that UFOs were real. Then I had to come to terms with the fact that there were things driving these craft. And then I started realizing, hey, there are multiple things out there with different agendas. Good and bad up there, just like there's good and bad here. Then I started realizing, and I was pretty much led into, or taught, that some of these things are multidimensional. Some of these things are, you know, maybe us from the future. You know, everything you can imagine is a possibility. So what does that say about reality? Reality itself possibly is just an illusion that we make up ourselves. And then, then I started asking the question, who are we? And that.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name's Blake Cousins. We receive videos from around the world in regards to UFO phenomena. Now, today and this week, we're going to go over a special 5-step program on how to capture UFOs properly. Now let's get to step 1 right now. Step 1, keep it cool. When you see something strange and unusual in the sky for the first time, it can get exciting. But just remember your surroundings, time and place, and then proceed to step 2. Step 2, keep it steady. Whether you have an HD camera or a small iPhone, it's always important to stabilize on the object. Whether you have to go down on your knee and just stabilize, that's what it takes, get the shot. Remember, steady shots equals great video. For example, this is a very shaky shot in comparison to a steady shot like this. Step 3, perspective. Whether an object is against a black or blue sky, it's very important to get some kind of material object in the foreground or background. a building, streetlights perhaps. The more information and material we get to see within the video gives us more of a perspective on how large this craft or crafts could be. Zooming in and zooming out at times on the object is very helpful, and pans every once in a while. Now on to step 4. Step 4, focus. One of the largest complaints we get here at Third Phase of Moon is blurry footage. It's very important to set your camera off from the auto-focusing mechanism. When you're filming a UFO for the first time, you don't need your camera trying to help you out.
Autofocus sucks so bad, dude.
Blurry images always seem to have a problem with viewers. If you want to get a good UFO shot, keep it in focus like this. It's best to set your camera on infinity for best results. Now on to step 5. Now on to step 5 and the most important step. When you've captured something amazing, it could be possible smoking gun footage. Make a backup of the copy immediately, then upload it to YouTube. If you've captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs after these 5 steps, contact us at Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time. UFO Sightings. Join me, Blake Cousins, along with my brother Brent, as we discover UFOs from around the world. You shoot them, we post them, right here, exclusive on Third Phase of Moon. Voted top by YouTube users, the best place to be for UFO activity. Shocking footage with over 300 exclusive videos. We just received a new Skype into Third Phase of Moon. We at Third Phase of Moon choose to be transparent and let the public decide. Take a look at this. Exclusive material from around the world continuously comes into Third Phase of Moon, and our team will be on it. With over 20 million views, you never know what you'll see at Third Phase of Moon. Subscribe now.